What's up, ladies and gentlemen? If my video editor did things correctly, you would have just seen some flybys of this 992.2 GTS. But before we get to how we got to this point today, let's rewind just a little bit. This is Soul Performance 992.2 GTS Sport Cat Downpipe. It's a thing of beauty. It's finished in this satin silver. Soul Performance is known for finishing their stainless steel exhaust systems and downpipes in this satin silver. It's absolutely beautiful. It actually feels really good to the touch as well. So this item is essentially going to give the car a bit more horsepower and also shed a little bit of weight. So the factory, let's call it a cat pipe, weighs about 27.4 pounds, and this one here weighs about 16.75 pounds. So shedding about over 10 pounds from the factory unit. So it makes it a little bit lighter, and it's also going to make it less restrictive because the catalytic converter that is in this pipe is less restrictive than, of course, the factory catalytic converter. So the reason that is because, of course, Porsche has to abide by European regulations and regulations throughout the world that are very, very restrictive and good for the environment. But again, it reduces the power and the sound and the fumes from the engine with a very, very heavy and restrictive catalytic converter. And then that's when Soul Performance comes in and really leans on the performance side of their company name and produces something like this. So it's extremely beautiful, lightweight. As I mentioned, I'm not a muscle guy or a bodybuilder, but you can do a bicep curl on this thing. It is absolutely stunning. I had never seen this sort of exit before, so that's pretty cool. I want to talk to John Gatos, who's the owner of Soul Performance, and ask him about that. And then you've got the other side as well. So just overall, this thing is absolutely beautiful, and it's very unusual in the sense of when somebody thinks about downpipes for a 911 turbo, specifically a 992 generation, they typically come with two turbos. So whether that's the turbo, Turbo S, or GTS. But on this generation of GTS, the 992.2, the facelift of the 992, they went to the single turbo with the electric assist that'll spool up the turbine a little bit quicker to reduce any turbo lag. And that's why you have the single downpipe. So truly amazing, built in the United States of America, Willow Grove, Pennsylvania. So I can't wait to get this bad boy on the car. So this, of course, is the 2025 992.2 GTS. It's the facelift of the GTS for the 992 generation. And the first telltale sign of that are these little vents right here. The second thing is going to be the engine. So on the 992.1 GTS, Porsche used a twin turbo flat six. Now they've dropped one of the turbos and they've got an electric assisted turbocharged, single turbocharged on the 3.6 liter. So right out of the box, this car has about 530 horsepower around there and about 450 foot-pounds of torque. And it feels much faster than that because of the electric assist. So it's essentially a hybridization of the car, and it allows the turbo to spool up much, much quicker, which virtually gives you zero turbo lag. And Thomas and I were just in the seat doing the flybys, and it feels turbo S fast. Kind of loses some on the top end, almost like an EV car, believe it or not, but it still feels wicked, wicked quick. So I'm very impressed with the new power plant from this. As you might have heard in the flybys, this car has a very unique sound. A lot of people that have heard it, myself included, agree that it almost sounds like the 930 turbo, 930 generation turbo of the single turbocharger. So it's a super cool, unique sound. It sounds like a V8 almost. So it's really, really cool. You know, everybody knows that the flat six, the only weak point of that is kind of the sound right out of the box. But for this car, that is not a problem whatsoever. I'm very happy to have done the Soul Performance exhaust system on this. It's actually the very first one down here in South Florida. So shout out to the guys at Soul Performance, and shout out to my customer as well for taking the plunge and basically using his Targa as the guinea pig to be the first one down here in South Florida. I reckon that when we go to a car meet or a car show with this car, people are gonna hear it, at least people with the 992.2 GTS, and they're gonna want that Soul Performance downpipe right away because it sounds absolutely incredible. I'll do a before and after somewhere in this video, perhaps right now. Sounds incredible. I wouldn't do anything else on the exhaust portion of it. That's because I haven't heard the rest of the stuff that Soul Performance actually offers for it. So when I sold the Soul downpipe to this client about a week and a half ago, they didn't have anything else except for the downpipe. But now, literally 2 days later, they are releasing a charge pipe, which is aluminum, and it replaces the rubber one, which I saw was made in Spain. And another performance version of the exhaust system that doesn't have any catalytic converters, so it'll probably sound a little bit better and even a little bit louder and a little bit more power as well. But I digress. I haven't heard that system just yet. I will in the future. Perhaps this client will want to do a potential upgrade of the sound. So, you know, we'll see what happens there. So without further ado, I just want you guys to take a final glimpse at the 992.2 GTS in the Targa body style. Satin black wrap. Still has the factory wheels on it, which are 20s up front and 21s in the rear, but perhaps I can change that down the road. This is actually the same exact client that I did another YouTube video for. We did a Kropovich exhaust for his Stealth Black 992 GT3 RS. I'll link it somewhere here or in the description. But if you like this video, if you like the before and after, if you like all the information and you find it you know, vital to kind of like the new knowledge that you want to learn about these cars, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so that you guys know whenever I post an exhaust before and after video session. So once again, thank you to the client, thank you to Soul Performance, and until next time, see you guys, drive safely.